Welcome to another episode coming at you at loveatfirstclick.com. Like and share this episode. So today, man, we got something a little bit different today. We got a guy that's, as a Muslim father, is taking his kid to the prom. And the kid is gay. I sent this over to me today. And I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm gonna keep it 1,000. He's a better man than me, the father, because I would not be able to pull this off. I would not be able to take my gay son to the prom. Nah. Now, I would never disown my son because he chose a lifestyle that I disagree with. That's one thing. And you're not okay. If my son or my daughter is living with me, they're not gonna do this under my roof, on my watch. This is not gonna happen. Now, once they turn, 18 or whenever they decide to move out, hey, knock yourself out. But if my kids are going to live with me, there are going to be some rules and standards and things they have to abide by. See, I can't be the parent and the buddy at the same time. Somebody has to be the parent and someone has to be the child, or the daughter. Just like someone has to be the father or the mother, or the mother and the daughter, or the father and the son. We can't be both at the same time. At least that's how I was raised anyway. You know what I'm saying? Because it's been times when I was growing up, my mom was like, hey, if you feel that way, you can go out and do your own thing. You know what I'm saying? Because every once in a while, I would, I would get a little frisky towards my parents every once in a while. And they say, hey, if you can do better, well, why don't you move out and do your own thing? So, of course, at the time, I didn't like that when I was told that. But I understand that now as I've gotten older. But that taught me that I couldn't do anything I wanted to do under my parents' roof. Just like if you live with somebody, even as an adult, if you live with someone, you can't do anything you want to do because that's ain't your spot. You staying with them for a while, temporary, until you get your own shit. And once you get your own shit, then you can do what you want to do. So the same rules apply to raising kids. You can't let kids do what they want to do. If you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. That's how it is. Now, see, in America, this is one of the only countries where they blame the kids when the kids don't turn out the way they would like, or when the kids start to act out. Now, if I had a kid, I'm gonna keep it a buck here. I'm gonna keep it 1,000. If I had a kid that didn't turn out the way I would like, I would feel like I failed him or her in some type of way. I would feel like a failure as a parent because there's something that I didn't do for them to make that choice or make that decision to do whatever that deemed to be for them to turn out the way they did. So I would feel like a failure as a parent. But that's just me. I know we live in a country where this is one of the only countries where if the kids start to act out and don't turn out the way they would like, a lot of people say, oh, you just lazy and dumb. They blame the kids. Kids can't raise themselves. We have to be taught. And, we have a lot of parents out here that ain't worth a damn. You might live with your parents, but they ain't teaching you shit. They ain't worth a damn. So you got that too. And then a lot of parents just expect for you to automatically know stuff. They're not going to say anything to you about anything, especially the taboo stuff. But they just expect you not to do it. You're just supposed to know automatically, which is craziness if you think about it, because they don't want to talk about it because they're uncomfortable talking about it with you. It could be sex, anything, And this is, when things come about, they'll be like, oh, I don't know. So if the kids don't get it from you as a parent, they're going to get it out in the street, out in school some damn way. But this guy, he's a better man than me. I wouldn't be able to do it. I wouldn't. And I ain't really ashamed to say it. I wouldn't be able to take my son to the prom dressed like this. That's just me. What about you? You tell me what you think below. Like, share this episode. Tell me what you think. You think this is empowering? Some people, because there's some of these liberal people that think that, oh, it's empowering as it's free expression and all this nonsense. Talking about these liberal people or whatever. There's nothing wrong with it. They think everybody should just do whatever. But when it comes to them, oh, it's a different story then. See, the same rules don't apply to these so-called liberals. Anything outside of them, fine. But when it comes to them, I'm like, oh, wait a minute, hold up. I got to get back to you. So you got to be careful with that. Don't get caught up into that. And there's nothing empowering about your sexuality, by the way. Because you got a lot of women out here, especially these other groups of women, when they start talking about female empowerment, what they're talking about is being able to do what they want, have sex with who they want, when they want, with who they want, without judgment. That's not empowerment. What you got in your pants, there's no power in that. That's, you didn't have anything to do with that. You were just born that way. So you gotta, don't get caught up in what these liberals, so-called liberals, talking about. Because you can don't fall for that. Don't fall in that trap. And that's in places like California, you got people that think that teenagers should be able to have sex change, have surgery, plastic surgery, without the parents' permission. I mean, think about the craziness. What type of person do you have to be to think that that's okay as a teenager, that you should be able to have plastic surgery without the parents' permission? What? Come on, man. You tell me what you think below. Like, share this episode. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.